Hey there, everybody. Hope you're doing well. This is Rental Robert with the Hustle Nation. We are all about creating some financial independence. Most of the time, that's happening with real estate. So, hope you're having a fantastic day. There's been a lot going on that I have been involved with. Number of evictions that we got going on. Hey, it's the nature of the beast. It's part of the business. Had a lot of properties that came available that boom, all of a sudden within 24 hours they were rented again. People are moving in. And it's just always been a priority I haven't always been the best in the past with getting properties re-rented. And so, I made myself a commitment a year ago that, hey, that's going to be a new must-have. That within 72 hours, we got the properties cleaned up and rented out again. So just trying to make it happen and getting it moving forward and everything like that. Kind of what is coming to mind is that, there's a big new buzzword out there that people talk about, and it's called generational wealth. And we're going to leave generational wealth. We're creating generational wealth, okay? Generational wealth is basically if somebody making money and giving it to somebody that has no idea how to handle it. For the most part, I think it's one of the worst things that you can do. I don't believe that you should leave anything to people. If they don't have it themselves, they're certainly not going to be able to take care of whatever you leave them. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it's the Vanderbilts. One of the richest families on earth at one time. They are basically broke. The reason for that is that none of them went to work. They all got left generational wealth. They didn't have to work. They started building mansions in the Hamptons, mansions over here, mansions over there, and everything. They tried to out-mansion each other. What ends up happening is that these people that get the money have no idea how to make it and how to preserve it. And you see this happen a lot with musicians. You see this happen a lot with sports figures. A lot of people that get these big, huge paydays that don't have a lot of days of putting $5, not touching it, regardless of what happens throughout life. And if you're only putting 20 bucks away, there's a new set of tires that comes up. There's an alternator for the car. There's an air conditioner for the house. There's something that comes up. And you've already become accustomed to not messing with the money. And that is something that's absolutely huge. Unfortunately, life happens and things come up. And I assure you of this. If you need a reason to spend money, you're going to find it. You will accomplish that. The thing about it is that we need to keep our hand. Stop. Don't do anything. Do not spend that money. I'm here to tell you. We have to gain the skills of not touching the money, okay? And then invest it. And once it gets invested, then we leave it alone. And we either get paid rent, we get paid a dividend or something of that nature, and then we leave that money alone. And we let this thing snowball, and it starts small, but then it gets bigger, and it gets bigger. And then before you know it, you wake up one day and you don't have to work any longer. Work is a choice, not a have to. You're able to tell that employer at that job that you don't like, oh, sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to offend anybody, but you understand what I'm saying. That is a magical time. That is an unbelievable feeling. That freedom that you get when you, let me turn that alarm off and I'm going back to bed. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it's all about right there. Thing about it is that a lot of people never experience that because it takes focus and it takes discipline. And there's everything in the world out there that will come up. Fantasy football, the kids got baseball, my wife's got this, the husband's got this, I got this fly fishing trip, I got this, and that investing, we don't have to do it right now. We can put that off, I'm going to get to that tomorrow, I'm talking to the financial planner next year. And next year I'm calling HR. I'm going to, make some adjustments in my 401k and this and that and everything and they'll say, okay. And if you really think about it, everything that you do requires money. If you slept in a bed that's in a house, somebody's having to pay for that house. Somebody had to pay for that bed. Somebody had to pay for those sheets. And if you got an alarm clock that's going off, somebody had to buy that. All of that costs money. And you'll have a lot of people that'll tell you money's bad. The love of money is the root of all evil. I agree. I love freedom. The freedom that I choose, the freedom that I seek, it comes from having money. Because when you have money and you don't have to go to work and you can decide to take off and go on vacation and spend some money. I mean, when you sit there and you start figuring it out and everything, and you get yourself to a situation where you can start spending $300, $400, $500 a day throughout the whole month, and you don't skip a beat, none of your bills are in jeopardy of not getting paid. That's a pretty phenomenal feeling. And when you sit there and think about it, and it's like, no, I don't have to show up. I'll never forget, about 15, 18, 20-something years ago, I used to be a millwright in a foundry. Second best paying job in that town. A lot of us in the maintenance department had gotten ourselves into a situation financially that we had to work that much. We would work 13 days straight, got 1 day off. 13 days straight, got 1 day off. I was banking a lot of money. I wanted to get into maintenance so bad. I got there, I absolutely hate it, okay? But I put up with it, and I was able to make some moves, did some investing and everything, and I did well, all right? It's not that I made a small fortune or anything like that, but I will say this. I did learn this. I'll never forget, I saved up enough money to finish my last 2 semesters of college. I have a degree in industrial electricity and electronics. And when I went in there and I gave my notice, the guy looked at me and said, people don't quit this job. And I said, well, I do. And there's a lot of people that were in that maintenance department that have been there for a very long time. It did not have a high turnover. A lot of those people had gotten themselves into a position that they needed to work and get paid just to survive at that level. I never did. So there's a lot of power in having that freedom that I wasn't always under the gun or they had their thumb on top of me. It's a very magical feeling, folks. And I hope that every one of you gets to enjoy it at some point. And I hope it happens before retirement. And I hope you don't have a job that sucks, because that's no fun to show up to a place day in and day out that you don't want to be. And I assure you, I know about that. I've had them before in the past. And the thing about it is just with a few shifts, a little bit of different behavior, we can create a financial independence that we don't have to be in that situation any longer. We can have enough money that's working for us. And so we don't have to go and work for it. It all depends on just what it is that you want out of life. Funny thing, I put a number of different things out there on social media today. Had 5 people contact me having to do with questions about finances and everything. One person was like, how do you, you live paycheck to paycheck. How do you find, money to invest, this, that, and everything? List goes on and on. It'll be interesting to see where those people are at in 90 days. One of them was a single mom. It's like, well, how do you find some money to invest when you're paycheck to paycheck? And I've sent her a link to this lady that's got 3 kids, single mother. It's like eBay to 100,000. This gal's got a side hustle, does thrift store resale and flipping stuff and everything. And I think within about 4 years, she became a millionaire. She got a little bit of stocks going on, a little bit of real estate going on and everything. Pretty impressive, the whole situation. So, it's possible. The thing is how bad do you want it? And just as an offer, if you want 15 minutes of my time, 15-minute phone call, send me an email. It's rentalrobertpcola@gmail.com. And I will give you a phone call. Make sure you include your phone number, and I will give you a free 15-minute phone call. Have your questions ready, whatever they are, and we will go from there. So I hope you have a very wonderful day, and I will be in touch.